In a world filled with bad news, I wanted to share some good news that has really shaped my life. See, I grew up in a non-practicing Catholic family. We were in church twice a year, days like today, Easter and Christmas. And the image of God that I took away from church growing up was that of the crucifix that was up front in the church. The message I got was that God did this to a perfect person, and so you had better be on your best behavior. Yikes. See, I was the first in my extended family to graduate from university. And while I was in school, all the smartest people in my life thought God was a fairy tale. And the good life for me then was doing well in school, dating someone I loved, and having a cool car. Well, check, check, and check. I'd peaked at 21. But I had this growing sensation that there was way more to reality than this tiny, boring perspective. See, between my commute to school and work and to where my girlfriend lived at the time, I was driving like 3 hours every day. I looked for something to keep my mind occupied while I was driving. See, podcasts didn't exist and neither did iPods. So I'd purchase like a CD, this round thing that you put into your radio. But I would be bored of that CD by the end of the day. So I found myself listening to like talk radio, people like Howard Stern, anything that would keep my attention while I was driving. And then one day I found the Calvary Satellite Network. And I'm kind of like my mom. My mom will like argue with the television, especially if like the news is on. And so I was arguing with these preachers on the radio. See, I've never like read the Bible, and I go to church maybe once or twice, but I'm right and you're wrong. But see, as I listened, I realized that they were just reading a passage from the Bible and explaining what the passage meant. And he talked a lot about Jesus and grace, and I was like, Grace? Who's she? But over time, I came to realize that Jesus died not as a warning to me from God, but rather Jesus was God himself, who loved me enough to die in my place and to rescue me from the mess I was making of myself and the world around me. So as a biochem pharmacology major, I decided to run an experiment. I would ask God if he was real and his name was Jesus, and I would pray about 3 small things to see if he existed and was listening. Well, God blew up my little experiment by answering all 3 prayers in one day. I was walking from my class to my car where I had just received my 3rd prayer. And so as I stepped off the curb, leaving class, I looked up and just said, okay, God, committing my life to Jesus. And I exchanged my fading, fun-sized life for the industrial strength life of the ages. This was February. During the Buffalo winters, you could go months without seeing the sun, which was particularly difficult for people like me who have seasonal affective disorder. But see, when I stepped off the curb, the clouds parted and the sun came out, and I experienced the reality of God. See, Christ invited me to follow him on an adventure that has taken me around the world and will continue forever as I learn from Christ to live the indestructible life that's available to anyone who will receive his forgiveness and give their lives to him. Well, this Easter, I'd invite you to run the same sort of experiment in your life. Why don't you ask God if he's real and if his name is Jesus? If you're interested in more, I would love for you to join us as we live stream our church service today at 9:30, 11:11, and 4 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time. Thanks so much for listening. Happy Easter.